Hey, and welcome to another installment of Catching Up with Chris, Jake, and Sam. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
And happy Thanksgiving, you guys. We're about tomorrow's the big turkey day where we all kind of get together over mashed potatoes and gravy. And, yeah, just kind of think back on all the things, ideally, theoretically, that we're thankful for and happy about. We all saw a movie this past week that we're all thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
The Michael Keaton magnum opus, really, Birdman. Which, fortunately and unfortunately, depending on your thoughts on Harvey Birdman.
I'm going to go ahead and say fortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I will go as far to say that, we still got like 2 months or a month and a half left of movies to go, but I'm going to go ahead and say that Birdman so far is my favorite movie of the year.
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
As much like, ball cupping we were doing for Interstellar, like Birdman. It was better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, Jake, I know that for you, it's one of the movies that you said is one of your favorite films in years. Or
yeah,
at least in recent memory.
I know that, like, we're all very aware, because we all go try to see movies together, and we're all very aware of what we like to call the honeymoon phase, which is usually, like a day or two after the movie, where most of the stuff you say sometimes is a little exaggerated because you're so excited, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one where, normally like I'd come out of a movie, and sometimes I get wrapped up in the honeymoon phase, I think, more than you two sometimes. And Sam's nodding like, yes, I've been there. And it was the greatest movie ever. And so normally Sam's like, oh, yeah, we'll see. I'll ask you again after the honeymoon phase. But I came out of this one, and I was like, Sam and I were out of there first, and Chris and our buddy Josh were coming up, behind us, and I was like, dude, that's one of the best movies I've seen in the theaters ever. And it was one of the first times Sam just kind of looked at me and was like, yes. Like, there wasn't like the honeymoon phase, man, the honeymoon phase. It was just yes. And for me, really, I'm very excited for Inherent Vice and American Sniper coming out. Those are the two big ones that are left this year for me, like big time.
Not The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies?
If the Batman v Superman trailer and Star Wars trailers are attached, that might make the list just solely because of that. But
I'm pretty sure the Batman v Superman trailer is confirmed, but I've been hearing reports recently that Star Wars is not going to be attached.
I've heard Star Wars is coming out soon.
Like this week.
Yeah, like this coming weekend they're going to be doing something. Mm-hmm. I heard that they're going to just like throw it on to like every movie this weekend or something like that, and then I've also heard like they're throwing it on Big Hero 6 to get another push of Big Hero 6.
Yeah,
I'll go see it again.
Sure, I'll see The Imitation Game.
Yeah, no, I want to see that too. But seriously, I've been waiting for this movie for a while, because we all love Michael Keaton for multiple reasons, and
like including multiplicity,
including multiplicity. But I mean, if you listen to our
movie.
Batman podcast, you know how much we love the Keaton era Batman movies.
Yeah,
and for me, I know like Chris's favorite Batman movie in general, not just the Burton era, is Batman Returns, and my favorite Batman movie in general, not just the Burton era, is Batman '89.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since this movie was announced, and that first picture came out with him walking around with the guy dressed up as Birdman, everyone was going, "Oh, what is this about? It's crazy!" And we've just all been waiting to see this movie. And it didn't disappoint, and it really is, man, like one of my favorite movies I've ever seen in a theater. And who knows, as time goes on, I mean, I've always joked that, like, my favorite James Bond movies of all time, my top 5 of that, my top 10 movies are like on lockdown, like just nothing else is ever going to get in that list because there's no point. I'm just going to keep adding and adding. But Birdman it's astounding. Like I was kind of thinking, I knew we were going to be talking about it, and I was joking to myself that all I wanted to say was it's one of the best movies I've ever seen, and just leave it at that, because we're talking about what we're thankful for. I'm thankful that there was a camera there to record Michael Keaton's performance. That's one of the things I'm thankful for, because he's one of those guys in Hollywood. He's one of the good guys, and he deserves every bit of accolade that comes with this performance. He's got my vote, even though I don't have a vote for best actor.
He has your support.
He has my support, exactly. And he goes places in this movie.
Would Birdman get your vote for Best Picture?
Yes.
And would Ed Norton at least get a nomination for supporting?
Yes. I can't think of a movie where like I was so like give it everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there are certain movies, certain years I'm like, performance, hell yes, and this was the best director. Give it everything.
One of the greatest things was how simplistic the soundtrack was too. Like
I love
it
that.
fit so perfectly. And like, for those of you that haven't seen it, the soundtrack is almost literally just like sounds completely like off the cuff improvisational jazz. Just like kind of
scat drumming.
Yeah, not scat drumming, because scat drumming is with your mouth, but
the kind of drumming that you would hear like in the subways in New York City.
Yeah, that too. Like, just a dude, playing
Which fits.
Just kind of going at it, and like it fit perfectly with the style and the flow of the movie, and like it would kind of die down, and then something weird would happen, and you just kind of hear like a rim shot, and then like you just like start trucking along again. Usually
during like transitions.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something else. I mean, Chris, I know you want to speak to this quite a bit.
Yeah.
The way the film was shot.
Yeah. So the months leading up to this, the more I heard about it, I was like, oh yeah, no, I definitely want to check this out at some point. I love Michael Keaton. It's a cool that he's doing something that's that has like some sort of nod to superheroes, and a thinly veiled nod directly to Batman. And then I saw an interview with Edward Norton like a week before we went to see it. I guess right around the time of the actual release of the movie. He was talking, and he mentioned that it was supposed to look like it was all one continuous shot. And I was like, done. I am in the theater. I fucking love it when movies do like long takes. And the handful of movies that I've seen where they've
what's that Russian film?
Russian Ark. I was gonna bring that up. Russian Ark, to my knowledge, is the only full length feature that actually is one continuous shot. And I have I don't speak Russian at all, and I'm very bad at reading subtitles. So I have no idea what actually is going on in the movie, but I sat there and watched every minute of it because it was so beautifully done. It's all done with stage actors, so they're used to doing everything all, in one go. And it's just one dude with a Steadicam following this guy around some big museum in Russia. And I believe he's basically just giving like a history lesson of Russia. And then like as he goes into the different rooms and the different sections of the museum, the environment changes a little bit to kind of follow what he's talking about, I assume. Like they change the weather, they change the lighting, they change the costuming. It starts out looking like he's just walking around a museum, just normal patrons. And then by like the end of like the first 20 minutes, you're like, wait a second, those people are in period clothes.
And this is all on Netflix, by the way.
Yeah,
at least last I checked.
Yeah, but so Birdman looks like it's all one shot. Right at the beginning, there's a couple cuts that are clear, noticeable, and then right at the end, there's a series of cuts that are noticeable. But for the bulk of the movie, all the cuts are hidden, so it looks like one continuous shot, and like you can you kind of get the idea that like every time they walk through a doorway, and like it'll essentially cut to black because the lighting changes, and like you get the idea that that's a cut, and then there are some times where there's like after a minute you're like, oh, some significant amount of time has passed, and like stuff like that, and they just executed it so well.
My father is a big fan of the Hitchcock film Rope.
Oh, that's so good.
Which also has that's a little more overt, because whenever they had to change reels, they would zoom in on someone's like shirt or something, and then they would pull back, change the reels and pull back out.
Yeah, they at the time that movie was made, they only had the technology to fit about 10 minutes worth of film into a camera. So every 10 minutes, they'll zoom into someone's shirt, or someone will walk in front of the camera, and it'll basically black out the shot. So like so that's where they cut it, but they do it they do it about as well as Birdman. If I remember correctly, there's only in Rope there is one time where there is a clear, distinct cut, and it's like right in the middle of the movie.
Well, there's another one near the end when Jimmy Stewart opens the opens the chest and finds the body.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's that kind of stuff, and I was talking to Jake about this. The film centers around Keaton his character is trying to stage a play to kind of like remind people that he's an actor, that he can do something of artistic merit.
That he's not just Birdman.
Right. Something that's like, hey, I'm an actor too. I can do artistic shit too. Look at this. And it really does kind of capture that, really thanks to that filming style, that kind of chaos and just nervous energy that you get from being on stage. Like it reminded, I did a little drama in high school. Jake, I know you did some drama in high school and college, and it really kind of reignited that. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I wasn't. I was.
I was a little. I was half and half, like on stage and behind the scenes. But yeah, I was involved.
Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely, some of that involved, and it just kind of like I was watching that, and it does, like, so much of the film is shot in New York City. It makes me kind of think of New York.
They got the mood of New York City down perfectly.
Yeah, straight down to people like cussing people while they're out on the street and stuff.
Or when that one scene where Emma Stone is sitting on the ledge of the building and you hear someone jump.
Yeah,
like that's totally New York.
And she like just kind of smiles and says like, "I love this town." It's like I know exactly what she means, because I always like the grit of New York, and it kind of like, it's not a gritty film actually.
The Gotham of New York.
Yeah, I was draw the Batman. I was surprised how funny this movie was.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be that funny. I was expecting it to kind of have that like realistic tone to it, where there is humor, but it was like I was expecting it to be more of a dramatic piece, but there was so much clever humor like mixed into it. Like it some of it, at times there was like slapstick to it, and at other times like it was just like well timed quips and stuff like that.
Well, I think people forget. It's funny because Keaton got to start as a comedian,
yeah,
and then he becomes Batman, and then there's like an era that forgets that he was a comedian.
Mostly like our kids our age.
Well, he's got this timing. And Ed Norton says one of the things that always broke him during he would like screw up a take was he would just see Keaton's face and just the faces he makes and his energy. He always has this great nervous, chaotic energy he gives. Yeah. And I was also saying it's funny because his Birdman voice, for me, it sounds very clearly Beetlejuice and his Batman voice put together. Because there are moments when I was like, it's Beetlejuice. Like that sounds exactly like Beetlejuice.
It was almost like Beetlejuice trying to do Batman.
Beetlejuice trying to do a Batman voice. But I mean, again, I've probably said it a bunch of times, but when I'm like sitting in the theater, I'm like very like quiet, and even if I find something funny, I usually don't laugh. But this is a movie I just found myself just laughing to, like so much throughout the movie. And there are some lines that aren't even that fun, that aren't really even that funny. If you try to explain to them and say the line, afterwards, like, oh, I found this funny, but it's just there's this comedic thing throughout the entire movie. And like I said, and here's the thing, because the people have been asking, the movie was not written for Keaton. You know what I mean? And it's just a happy coincidence that there are elements of this that paralleled his career. That he played Batman, and Do you
know how much like rewriting they did to kind of like play at that fact? Or
I don't know.
Yeah, because like he straight up is like, I left the role in 92.
92, yeah.
Which is when he left Batman.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I thought they were going to say I turned down Birdman 3. Like that would have been a rewrite.
That would have been very on the nose.
But that might have been
Birdman
too on
forever.
Yeah, Birdman forever. Yeah, but I don't know, because I was always curious too when I heard about it. Like, was this something that that they, not that they wrote for him, but like he was thought of when they were writing this movie? And I think it was just something where it's the perfect time, because obviously we all love superhero movies, but this comes out at a perfect time, for superhero movies, because they reference a lot of actors and movies.
A lot of the guys that are in like the Avengers movies,
Avengers and X-Men,
get their names dropped in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeremy Renner, really? They gave him a cape?
Yeah. The director for this and Babel, and I didn't know he had a movie like this in him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, those are all like tragedies, like epic scale tragedies. And we see this, and it's just, it's. You would think, if you describe this movie to somebody, they would go in thinking it's a straight up drama.
Yeah,
like I did.
And there is definitely, like, we want to get the point across. There's some heavy stuff that happens.
Yeah.
And there's some really heavy moments too, but all of the points, because it is meant to look like one long take. It is perfectly. That was just like somebody like pop, pop, pop. Perfectly timed moments to bring the comedic stuff back. You know, there's never a point when you feel drained from all the drama. You know, there are moments that hit you like a punch to the gut, but then you have, you know, there's a scene between Emma Stone and Michael Keaton where she tells him off and just basically tears him down, and you see the moment of her kind of reflecting, like, I just, you know, pulled the rug out from under my father, and I'm watching his reaction, and it's breaking my heart, and we're watching her reaction, which is breaking our hearts. But then Michael Keaton burns his finger on a joint afterwards. You know what I mean? He's like, you know, like, so I don't know. It was so good. Like, you know, I was so excited because I got really nervous right when the lights went down, because I realized I had put so much on this movie. Like, I was putting so much on enjoying this movie that as soon as the lights went down, I was like, oh no, did I just doom this movie? And then cue Michael Keaton going, "Smells like balls." And I was like, oh, okay, we're good. We're good. You know, and then the movie it's so much fun. The movie is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, so that's something we're thankful for. You know,
Absolutely.
we hardly recommend that. Something I'm thankful for that me and Chris had the opportunity to kind of play around with literally this weekend was the new Super Smash Brothers just got released on the Wii U.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been kind of like shitting on the Wii U. It's, you know, it's clearly the third place seller in this generation of consoles.
I heard it's doing like better though. Is that true?
It's doing okay.
Still not what they were expecting.
Now that it's getting more games, I think sales are up because there's just more selection. There wasn't really much when the console itself came out.
Okay.
It's crazy to think the console's been out for 2 years now.
Has it?
Yeah, it came out.
I feel like it only has like 10 games.
I was talking to my buddy John, who was also with me and Chris playing this, and yeah, there's about 10 games in the entire Wii U library that I would like to buy. The thing is, that's more games certainly more exclusives than either the PS4 or the Xbox One.
All the games are almost completely exclusives. Mm-hmm. There's very few games that are
mostly first and second party support. There isn't a lot of third party support outside of maybe Bayonetta 2, which is cool. Bayonetta is always a good time and a lot of fan service. But the new Smash Brothers, I mean, Chris, you're saying you hadn't played a Smash Brothers since the GameCube installment?
Yeah, since Melee. Like I loved Smash Brothers on the N64, and I really enjoyed the Melee. But I haven't had a Nintendo system since then, or access to a Nintendo system very readily since then. So going over to our friend Zach's house and playing it, because he had like 8 controllers and we had 8 people playing it. And I was like, oh my god, this is sensory overload.
Yeah, you can have as many as 8 this time.
Yeah, and some of the levels are ridiculous. Like, you can't use all the levels with 8 people, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. Something about
I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever, for whatever reason, they've restricted it.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to go with, like, if those stages showed the slightest bit of slowdown or whatever.
Maybe. Maybe those are the stages where a lot of other stuff happens. Like I forget what the stage is, but the racing stage where they have the cars coming at you.
The Mario Raceway stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So like maybe that is what it is. But like there's like the Duck Hunt stage where you're literally playing. If you remember Duck Hunt for the original NES, and I'm sure it's been ported on other systems as well. But it's literally that little square of the dirt and then the grass and the tree, and you're fighting around that, and it's actually in like 4:3 ratio instead of the widescreen to fit your TV, and you can fall off the edge of the black bars on the side. You can fall off there. So that was a lot of fun, and then like the screen would move around too, so you had to compensate for that.
And you can be Duck Hunt Dog.
Yeah, and you can be Duck Hunt Dog.
Yeah.
And
his taunt is him laughing at you.
Yeah.
Just like that bastard would.
Yeah. But then there are other stages that are fucking huge, like designed to be played with 8 people.
I would argue even
designed
too big for 8 people.
No, you're totally right. You could. There was that one stage. I have no idea what it was called, but it was that stage with the section that would like fly up and you would die if you stayed on it.
It's inspired by Kid Icarus Uprising for all you Nintendo fanatics.
There you go. That felt like it was a stage for like 20, or the stage with lava.
Yeah, which is a Sonic stage, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can play as Sonic.
He's back. Yeah. He debuted in Brawl.
Or Sanic, as I like to call him now.
Well, he's back.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever you want to call him, he's back. There's 49 characters.
Wow.
Super Smash Brothers Brawl only had 35. Melee had 25.
The original had like 15?
12.
12?
Yeah.
That was close.
Yeah, the next year, early.
I said like.
Yeah, early this coming year. I'm not judging you, but now I am. The early next year.
Because you won't shut up.
Yeah, the stop projecting. The early next year, there you can download Mewtwo, who hasn't shown up since Melee, so that'll bring it to 50.
Oh, I thought you said U2, and I was like, what? They're in the game?
Well,
Bono shows up.
Yeah, his special move is he takes off his sunglasses and he's basically Cyclops.
No, he's a giant fucking shit, like in the South Park episode.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. He takes the world's biggest shit, only to be outdone by Randy. But the
he is the world's biggest shit. That's why he hates the
Yeah.
number 2.
And then the Edge is there, too.
yeah, all he does is hit the delay pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his special move. He hits the delay pedal, and then everyone's moves are delayed except for his. That's actually a good copyright. That.
Yeah. A U2 fighter. Mortal U2.
Michael Jackson
Or
and
U2.
Aerosmith have games.
They do.
Why doesn't Daft Punk have a game?
Right?
Could you imagine if they had like an 8-bit game?
I mean, there is DJ Hero.
Like, well, I mean, like a side scroller 8-bit game with G-Man and Toman, like you're going through their careers, and it's like lasers and the Tron level. Like that would be fun.
I think an 8-bit
Or 16-bit maybe. I don't know.
if you really want.
I mean, you could probably design that and put it on Steam, and people would love it.
if you got the likeness rights.
Yeah.
That's key.
And the music rights.
Yeah. Oh,
Because why would you play that game if you couldn't listen to Daft Punk?
yeah, you're listening to like some like generic like
Just electro.
bleeps and bloops.
Oh my god, 16-bit Daft Punk, wouldn't that be great? Like
some
just
scat
the
drumming.
songs.
I feel like that needs to exist, but
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
I almost want to do a Google search while you guys keep talking.
sure, yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Do you own Moonwalker? I know you're a big Michael Jackson fan.
Yes, I own it on.
I thought you were
Laserdisc.
looking at me. I was like, I don't.
I'm sorry.
I don't.
I just assumed you were talking to me
No,
because I
yeah,
am a
yeah,
huge
yeah.
Michael. I have it on Laserdisc and VHS.
I meant the video game.
Oh no, I do not because I. Oh no, I do. It was on
Sega
Genesis, right?
yeah.
No, I never had. I played the arcade version at the Pohick Rec Center. They had it on the arcade, so I played it there. I actually did not know that it was available for home console because I was a dumb kid and I wasn't a very good gamer, so I thought that
The internet didn't exist.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
yeah.
I thought that there was a clear separation between arcade games and home video games. So whenever I would go to like Fuddruckers or something like that, and they had an arcade version of a game that I had at home, I thought that was like, ooh, they've crossed.
Cross the streams.
Yeah, I was about to say that, but I was
Yeah.
like, that's wrong. And that never stops me before, but it's going to stop me this time.
Somebody's gotta take up the wrong slack.
What was I going to search? I've already forgotten.
You're gonna look for a Daft Punk video game,
Right. Oh, well, no, Daft Punk 16-bit music.
Yeah, but
I mean, whatever. I can look
Oh, that
for it.
definitely exists.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm
Someone
going to
did
download it then.
Someone did like all of Random Access Memories,
in 16 or 8.
and like he just plays it on like the keyboard, like in
Yeah.
that. It's cool.
the
Yeah, there's one of the suggested search results is Get Lucky 16-bit.
there you go. The Michael Jackson game, if I recall. So for you guys not in the know, there's a Michael Jackson beat 'em up called Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Based on the movie Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, which was half anthology of Michael Jackson, half 45-minute music video for Smooth Criminal.
Based on the novel
Push
Moonwalker.
by Sapphire.
Yeah. No, Moonwalker by Michael Jackson.
John Carpenter's Push by Sapphire.
Yeah, jeez, gosh,
You're welcome.
he. I always found it. I found it weird that there's a zombie stage where and they don't use Thriller as background music because you'd think instead of doing like Part of Me or whatever that they have there. 2, you're always your goal is to rescue little children, which in retrospect is just kind of weird.
But to be fair, that was what he was doing in Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
It was, yeah. I didn't see that movie until like I finished high school. One of my friends had it on VHS
I have it on Laserdisc.
and VHS.
Yeah.
But the
Side 1 is all the anthology stuff, and I usually skip over that to go to Side 2 for the 45-minute Smooth Criminal music
which
video.
is an awesome music video.
Featuring Joe Pesci
Yeah.
as the bad guy
Yeah.
who loves like walnuts or something like that.
He has Marlon Brando as the bad
He's
guy in the
Big Boy
Invincible.
Caprice. No, he lived. Was it walnut? Yeah,
Yeah.
he loved walnuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like walnuts?
Yeah.
I love walnuts. Good for the liver.
Bad
Yeah.
for the brain. Sorry.
Yeah. Dick Tracy reference.
Good movie. We should
It
watch
is.
that.
The maybe might be on the
Who knows?
might be on the commentary queue. The what was the I mentioned 2 video games. One of them was Aerosmith. For you guys that don't know, Aerosmith had a Sega Saturn game and an arcade game where it was a first-person shooter.
Yeah, and you have to save Aerosmith. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they get like kidnapped or something like that
by a gang that has a bumblebee yellow jacket motif.
Nice.
It was fucking terrible. Yeah. And it was available for this. And you shot CDs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
They had it. They had the arcade version at, I want to say, the Springfield Mall movie theater. Cineplex Odeon.
They just opened up the Springfield Mall again.
Yeah, Town Center. Springfield Town Center now.
Oh, they're trying to distance themselves?
Well, they're trying to make it kind of like Fairfax Corner,
right.
Where it's not actually a mall. It's like a little town center.
Right.
Or Fairfax Town Center if you want to.
Draw the parallels to names even more, yeah.
Although I think the modeled more so after Fairfax Corner, though, so it looks kind of like a little city, like or a little town, with a clock tower and all that stuff. I hope it has a clock tower.
Yeah.
I haven't been back since. We should go. We should
make a field trip.
Yeah, listen to Foo Fighters the entire way.
Yeah, because
since there was that half hour where Dave Grohl was complaining about them taking down Springfield Mall at the November 11th, 2011 show.
Yeah, he grew up there. He had grown up,
like us.
Yeah.
Well, like me. I don't know about you two.
Yeah, playing at timeout and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the new Smash Brothers though, I think it's a definite improvement over Brawl. People really hate Smash Brothers Brawl, which was the Smash Brothers installment for the Wii. I think a lot of it is it wasn't as fast-paced or as competitive as Melee, but I don't really play Smash Brothers for competition. If I'm trying to play like a tournament fighter, it's going to be like Street Fighter or something. Soul Calibur.
Maybe a little Tekken.
Tekken, sure.
I love Tekken.
Tekken Tag, absolutely.
Yeah, oh man, Tekken Tag was the best.
That's great, yeah.
With that weird, freaky, oily werewolf chick as the main boss at the end. Was that Tekken Tag?
I think we've slipped into one of Chris's dreams.
Possibly.
Yeah, I've never actually beaten Tekken Tag.
Oh, I have. I have.
just for the weird
just for the weird oily werewolf chick at the end.
There you go. I remember the final boss of Dead or Alive 4.
I'm going to be checking that again too, just to see if I'm crazy.
The final boss of Dead or Alive 4 was just a naked water woman.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so I definitely, if you enjoy the Smash Brothers games, everyone's wondering the most hated thing in Brawl was a trip. Like it worked as a handicap. You would there it is.
Yep, there it is. I was right. Oily werewolf chick.
There it is. Yeah, so you would trip
there she is in-game.
Indiscriminately. And yeah, it was just that you couldn't turn off that mechanic in Brawl, and that doesn't exist in Super Smash Bros. U. A lot of the same characters. I mean, there are some characters they removed for this installment. No more Ice Climbers, which is kind of... I always like the Ice Climbers. No more Solid Snake. He was just kind of a one-off character, unfortunately. But you get a whole bunch of new characters. Pac-Man's here this time around, and his final smash...
Paku.
Yeah, his final smash is devastating. Mega Man, you can be Mega Man this time around, which is so cool. Because I grew up playing Mega Man games on the NES and Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo. So he was always...
Is Kirby in it?
Kirby will never not be in it.
Because I suck at those games. And I had a roommate, Foley, if you're listening, you fuck. And he would...
Go fuck yourself,
We'd play
Foley.
those games forever, and I was so terrible at it. And I would always be Kirby, though. I love Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby's cool. Kirby's there. So is King DDD and Meta Knight from the Kirby series. This time you can be Baby Bowser. That was something you couldn't do before. There's a lot of...
Can you be your avatar?
Yes.
Okay.
You can be your avatar this time around. That's new. Dr. Mario's back. They removed him in the last installment and brought him back for this one.
You can be Mr. Game & Watch?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's been around since Melee, and they keep bringing him back, and he still can turn into the Game & Watch-topus.
Yeah. That murdered us.
The devastating Game & Watch-topus. So Final Smashes are back, too. Some of them have changed. Some of them, some of them are still...
You can be Link...
You can be Link and Toon Link.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about Link, I'm sure this option was available in all the other games as well, but because you can change their outfits, I could be what I dubbed Assassin's Creed Link, which was basically just Link, but his outfit was white instead of green. And then the Little Mac.
Link. Well, yeah, Little Mac. He's my new favorite character. Little Mac from
Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah,
and Super Punch Out.
You can
not Mike Tyson's Super Punch Out.
Right. You can be Little Mac in this game, and he's one of the best new additions.
And you can be him in his pink training sweatsuit, which was my preferred costume.
Yeah.
Or you could be him in the what do they call it?
Wireframe?
Yeah, wireframe. You could be him in wireframe, and then you just change the color of your trunks.
Just like the arcade version, because you were only a wireframe fighter in that one. Now, in terms of games with lots of characters, me and Jake have also been playing Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, which is now out on 360, PS3. I feel like it's out on PS4 and Xbox One now.
I think so, yeah.
Sure.
It's that's if you love the Lego games, there's not a whole lot of new shit in terms of like gameplay wise. Same stuff as like Lego Marvel Superheroes and the previous Lego Batman games, but man, this is a love letter to like the DC Comics universe, really. Like you can be for fuck's sake, you can be Dr. Fate, you can be Swamp Thing, you can be
Frankenstein.
You can be Frankenstein.
I think that was the one you freaked out the most
Frankenstein's
about.
monster.
And I told somebody at the at the shop about that, and they were like, "I'm buying it now." They're like, "I'm buying the game now," and I was like, "All right, whatever." I mean, there is a character. If you have even just read one DC comic and loved that as a child, just one issue of one book, there is a character somewhere in this game. It'll take you a while maybe to unlock them. Mm-hmm. But you will. There's something in there that you will love about the game. There's so many great characters,
and it's not just the books, the cartoons, the movies.
Yeah,
TV
shows.
TV show. They have a Man of Steel pack. Mm-hmm. If you want to be like Man of Steel Zod or Man of Steel. If you want to be like animated series, if you want to be one of my favorite series of all time, not just of like DC series, but just of all time, is Batman the Animated Series. And my favorite Batman the Animated Series episode is Beware the Gray Ghost, where Bruce Wayne meets his hero, who's a struggling actor that played this very Shadow-esque hero, the Gray Ghost. You can fucking be the Gray Ghost.
Do you know how to unlock them? Did you see how? Because I haven't done it yet.
I haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Because Sam and I have been playing it for a good little while now. And
really just like 3 days.
Yeah. But I mean, a couple hours each day.
Little while.
Yeah. It's been good. It's been a little time, and it's been somewhat of a while. And stupid. And I mean, we go for a good. I was going to say a good little while again. Jesus. I didn't even mean to. We went for a bit to play like the campaign, and then it just turned into us just trying to unlock characters. And it was hilarious because when you unlock a character, there's a little token. You can't really see who it is, and he goes ding, and it like flies up, and then it goes and it explodes, and it tells you who it is. And so we sit there. We're 28 years old. And we're playing it. All of a sudden, it's like ding, Frankenstein, and we're like yeah. And then it was like. And it was like Hawkman, and mine was a lot louder. I was like, "Yeah!" And Sam was like, "Yay!" And then it was like, "Ding, Miss Martian." And then it was, but I mean, like, there's characters for everybody. Who's the Music Maestro or
Music Meister from Batman: Brave and the Bold?
That sent Sam on a tirade.
He isn't a comics villain. Like he wasn't. There's certainly musical themed villains that Batman's faced before, like especially in the Silver Age. But in Batman the Brave and the Bold, they have this episode called, like, Beware the Music Meister or whatever the fuck. And apparently that one's really popular. Like, that's gotten a lot of, like, warm response online. And, there's quite the fan base. And Music Meister is, like, voiced by Neil Patrick Harris, who, of course, is a very good singer. Fine, cool, sweet. I fucking hate that episode. I fucking hate that episode more than I love my potential future children.
Which he loves.
Yeah.
All the girls.
It was, it's just, musical episodes are hit or miss for me. They're either executed fairly well. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a fan of, like, musical episodes that have, like, a musical sequence, like the 100th episode of How I Met Your Mother had a decent musical episode. I fucking hate Beware the Music Meister, and by extension, I hate the Music Meister. And as soon as we unlock the Music Meister, I'm like, I'm not going to unlock the Music Meister. Like,
he's like cheap as shit too, and we're like, nope, we have the money, we're not doing it.
Yeah, like eventually I'm sure I'll unlock the Music Meister, and who knows, maybe he's the best character. Maybe when you unlock the Music Meister, like the game just fucking like surrenders and like
it just gives you everybody.
Yeah.
Gives you Jeff Johns, gives you Jim Lee.
Yeah, and which is true. You can be Jeff Johns, Jim Lee, Adam West, all
Kevin
that
Smith.
Yeah. But I don't fucking care. Of all I'm thankful for Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. I'm not thankful for the Music Meister. That one can just burn straight in Hades forever.
Yeah.
Melt because it's plastic.
I was very excited to get Lego Hawkman, but then I realized he fucking sucks. Like he has no power in that game. Like he's got
Just
the mace,
like he does in the comics.
and how fucking dare you? I'm gonna strangle you with the veil that we keep lifting. And he has the mace, and he. Like I remember, I was like, "There's like you save Adam West, a bunch of different Adam West throughout the game." And
Adam West basically fills the same role as Stan Lee,
yeah,
in Marvel superheroes.
And
Conan O'Brien fills the same role as Agent Coulson, which makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Because Coulson makes sense.
Yeah.
How the fuck does Conan O'Brien fit into all this?
It's one of the everyone loves Conan,
doesn't he?
And so Adam West is being attacked by alligators, and like I was Hawkman, and he was like, "Help, help!" And so I was like hitting them with like as Hawkman with the mace, and I was like, "Oh, damn it!" And I was like hitting them. Nothing was happening. They were just kind of like turning red and like shaking, and they keep going. I was like, "Oh, well, it's useless. We can't save them." And I was like, "Well, I'll just turn on the Shazam." Turn on the Shazam, and he fried all of them in like a second. And I was like, shit.
Wait, did you save Adam West then?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because remember, they do the thing where his like face comes up, and he's just like frowning, and he goes, and then he smiles, and he disappears, and you save Adam West.
I'm assuming that if you save half the Adam Wests, you get 1960s Batman, and if you save the other half, you get Adam West.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's going to happen.
I feel like it, yeah, because there's supposedly we haven't done it yet, but a 66 mode where the game turns into basically the TV show
with the BAMs and POWs.
Yeah, everything, and but then you have like the Dark Knight, Batman stuff you can do. Just it's really everybody. Although I was looking at the list, I don't think you could be the Question, and I don't think you can be the Spectre, which is a bummer.
Boo.
I don't know about the Question, but I'm pretty positive you can't be the Spectre. But he's like basically God, so
you can be Dr. Fate though.
You can be Dr. Fate, which is pretty super awesome, and.
But yeah, if you like the Lego games and if you like DC Comics, this is as good as it gets.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought that movie,
and I love the Marvel Lego one. That's one of the. I need to just own that. That's one of the best Lego games out there. And like I thought, whatchamacallit was obscure. Like Union Jack in Marvel Legos was obscure, but yeah, the fact that you can, Bat Cow was in this game. It gets pretty crazy. Also, it's cool because you have like the Batcave is bigger than it's ever been. In Lego Batman 2, it's like basically one story, but this one you can go all over the place. And you have the Legion of Doom, you have the Hall of Justice.
Did the previous games have the Danny Elfman Batman score?
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
So this one definitely does. Whenever you're Superman,
yep, you take off.
Whenever you take off, the John Williams Superman score kicks in,
and it makes you feel like a hoss. And whenever Wonder Woman takes off, the Wonder Woman theme starts playing
from the
Wonder Woman.
And so whenever there's just like Sam and I are playing, and there's like a moment of like we're just like not talking, and we're just like playing the game, one of us will just turn into Wonder Woman and start flying just to get the groove going again. It's like wicka 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 wicka. But it's a lot of fun. I love all the Lego games. I mean, it's a little more like I haven't really played the Lord of the Rings or Hobbit ones or Harry Potter because I feel like if you're super invested in the story that it's telling and the characters, you'll enjoy it way more. Because I don't know all the characters in like Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and Harry Potter like I do in say the Indiana Jones one.
Honestly, outside of Lego Batman 3, the only other Lego games I've played are the Star Wars ones.
Star Wars ones are amazing. Those ones are so much fun.
I mean, never did Marvel superheroes.
Oh, you gotta get on that.
Yeah, I never did any of the Lord of the Rings, any of the Indiana Jones, which isn't me being like fuck those franchises. It's me being like I just never.
It is me being fuck those franchises.
When I bought my 360, it came with Kung Fu Panda and the original trilogy of Indiana Jones Lego. I'm gonna buy the Marvel one because I played it a while back. And it was a lot of fun, but there's so many characters I didn't unlock and play. Like, you could be Black Bolt, and when he screams in the game, it's fucking terrifying. It doesn't even sound human. It's just like this screech, and when he screeches, it blows whatever Lego villain you're fighting just to pieces, and they fly away. So It's pretty super awesome. But I'm thankful for Lego games. I'm thankful for Legos. I haven't played with Legos, like actual Legos, in a very long time. But
I have a bin of Legos right over there, and we should play with them.
Build something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever we can imagine.
Yeah. Just like the Lego movie. Can you believe that came out this year?
Yeah.
It
It
feels
came
like
out this year?
it came out in February.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It feels like it's been fucking forever.
I mean, it has been since February.
yeah.
The Batman. Have you read the news about the Batman Lego movie? They're incorporating every era of Batman ever, like all the films, everything in it.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome.
I heard they're
Could you
trying to
imagine they
actually get all the voice all the
that'd be
actors
so
to do the
awesome.
voices too.
That would be amazing.
Like
if
Michael Keaton is Burton Batman, Adam West is 66.
Yeah.
You know, basically
Kevin
everyone that's
Conroy.
played.
I can't see why they'd all be down. You know what I mean? Like
Batman Legends.
yeah. They'd all be down. Like they have to be. Like they all like even like
Even
George
Christian
Clooney's.
Bale?
I don't know. I mean, if everyone else was,
Yeah.
he seems like he'd be fine. But like, even George Clooney like jokes about it. Like he's a stand-up guy with that kind of stuff. And Keaton he's embraced the legacy of Batman.
Mhm.
I
I think it'd be great.
more so than probably some of the other Batman guys, which is amazing.
He's had more time to deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, but again, I was surprised. I watched the interview. I always thought there was like a part of him that seemed bitter about it, but I watched the interview and he's like, I've always embraced it. Like, I think he's embraced it more because of how well the Christopher Nolan movies did.
Mhm.
And he is able to really see the legacy, but he was like, why would I ever be pissed about playing Batman? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to get mad about having that legacy attached
especially
to
the two that he was Batman.
Yeah, they're very well
I
regarded.
can understand like George Clooney being embarrassed about it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which he is.
And he left. He left while the getting. He left because he didn't want it to.
Yeah,
become
he left
something
on his
he'd
own
hate.
terms.
Yeah.
Turned down $15 million because in his
In
words, it sucked.
1995 money. Yeah.
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 Yeah. He's not a guy driven by money or fame. He said one of the reasons he stopped acting for a while was because he just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And
he had enough money.
Oh yeah.
To kind of be like, all right.
He seems like a guy such in a good place. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
for when he wasn't making movies or whatever, he just seems like one of the, like a Keanu Reeves, like one of the good guys who just, everyone loves Michael Keaton. It's like Tom Hanks. Everyone loves Tom Hanks. Everyone loves Michael Keaton.
Yeah. He doesn't do. He doesn't act to. I don't want to call people out, but I feel like there's certain actors that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
There are certain ones that you just can tell that they're in it for the money.
Yeah. Just like just like that Frank Zappa album.
Sure.
We're only in it for the money.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the name of the album. Yeah. So speaking of money and money lost or invested, really, you got a new car this week.
I did
Today, in fact.
Yes, quite literally right before we got together for this show. A couple weeks ago I got rear-ended, and the undercarriage damage happened to be so bad that the other guy's insurance, they appraised it and they were like, it's gonna be totaled. So we're gonna give you some money. Ends up being a little bit more than the car is actually worth, so I'm not complaining. And enough to be a decent down payment on a new car. So I've been driving around a rental car for the past week, which has been quite a fun little jaunt because it's a new Dodge Charger, and that has quite a bit of pickup. It's got a good hitch in its giddy up, if I may. If that means anything to anyone. But yeah, so today I went up to CarMax to get a new car, and so now I'm driving around a 2011 Kia Soul, which I hear is our friend Corey.
Yeah,
She
I think she
it?
drives the same car.
So
yeah.
we're soulmates?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you think about that, Corey?
Yeah.
Soulmates. What's up?
Let me listen. I think I can almost hear her from the West Coast.
Hear her going, ugh.
Fuck it.
Never listen to this show again. I don't know why her voice is so deep, but that's what it sounds like.
That's what happens when you move to San Jose.
Yeah. By the way, Corey, tweet us again. It's fun to
Hear from you.
It's fun when you tweet us to tell us that you're listening to the show. But yeah, so yeah, Corey and I are soulmates. And I just got it, so I haven't driven around too much beyond just like the test drive. Fun fact: I had to drive up to Rockville to get it because they had the one that I wanted. For those of you that don't know, Rockville is about an hour trip from where I live. And I took my dad with me because he has better credit than I do, and also because I needed, now I would be coming back with two cars, the rental car and my new car. Because no one else is allowed to drive the rental car, I had to drive the rental car back, and he got to drive my new car home. Very upsetting that I didn't get to play with my new car. But then, I drove it around after we got home, so hooray. It's a nice car. I'm a big guy, and it's nice to have a moderately sized vehicle that gets good gas mileage that I fit in. I'm excited to see how it handles in the snow, though.
There you go. And if this past week's been any indicator, it's going to be a motherfucker of a winter. Yeah, it's been really cold here lately. I don't know about you. I know we got listeners in Florida and California and really in Austria for some reason.
And Qatar. Where it doesn't get too cold.
Not at all. If my, good luck.
Although congratulations on FIFA 2020.
For the World Cup?
For the World Cup, yeah.
They talked about making those night games, too, because it gets so fucking hot there during the summer.
Because then at night it's only a balmy, 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's a little more manageable. To be fair...
not direct sunlight.
Yeah, to be fair, Brazil isn't exactly known for its, although they're below the equator, so it was actually moderately chilly when they were playing this past summer. Yeah. But so, I guess you're thankful for the new car, Chris?
Yes.
That's cool. Anything else you gentlemen are thankful for?
Yeah, I'm thankful for the relationship that I have with my family. We all get along. I have a lot of friends that have really bad relations with their family, like their specifically their parents. People always talking about how they constantly are getting in fights with their parents, getting in high school, getting kicked out of the house and stuff like that, and just not even beyond just the Will Smith's parents just don't understand kind of stay in school, but beyond the typical I just don't get along with my family, which is more bred from I see them all the time, so therefore I'm tired of being around them kind of stuff, but actually having physical confrontations and stuff like that.
Yeah. Me, I'm not saying I definitely didn't have a storybook relationship with my parents, but I never actually got kicked out.
Yeah. I'm so thankful that I never had to go through that.
Yeah, when the chips were down.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
I'm thankful for the love and affection that I get from them.
I have two things. I don't want to get super sappy. First one, because we mentioned it earlier, I am thankful for my friendship with Corey for a couple things. One,
oh my God, can we get off Corey for 2 seconds?
There's been a couple interesting stuff happening at work, and so she lives in California, and obviously we're here in Virginia on the East Coast, and so she sends me a text at 3 a.m. Before one of my shifts. I don't get it until I wake up to get ready for work, and it says something along the lines of 20%, please. It'll make sense at 12:30 tomorrow, and I go, what? Okay, I don't know what that means. So I'm thinking, I kind of forget about it when I'm going to work and doing everything. And all of a sudden, 12:30 rolls around. Keep in mind, she lives on the West Coast. There's a Domino's across the street from us. The guy walks in with 2 pizzas, a thing of soda, and some cheesy bread and some other stuff. And he's delivery for Corey Murphy. So she had ordered us the night before food from basically from the West Coast, and almost a freaking country away. Just to
literally a country away,
just to boost our our morale a little bit and be a great friend to us, and that was a really sweet thing. And she's been so supportive of the show as well. I know I'm probably embarrassing her listening to this, but
good. She's on public transit. She
but
needs to be embarrassed.
But yeah, her and Ethan.
That's not a slight on people that use public transit. I'm saying because she's in public, it's funnier that people get embarrassed.
Yeah. And
there's nothing wrong with using public transit. My dad's listening to this on public transit.
and also her significant other, Ethan, is a good friend of mine as well. And I know he supports us. So that's just really great to have friends like that to support us, and just friends in general. And also, you two sons of bitches, you two motherfuckers.
Yeah, you two's terrible.
What? Well, no, because you two really brought me into this. This is something you guys were doing and working on for a good little while, and just by living in proximity with Sam and knowing these guys, He asked me one day to come along and do this thing with him. And I really had no idea.
It didn't work until you came along.
Yeah, and
Sam and I butt heads too much.
Well, no,
we needed someone cool to
it wasn't, and I appreciate that. But like, really, I mean, this is something I've really like enjoyed a lot since we started. And I remember, and again, not really knowing how big of a thing this was in terms of just, doing the podcast and the commentaries and the filming and the green, all that stuff. So I was just like, oh, sure, we'll have some fun. And we know Sam and I had done some podcasts before. And after that first night, I was like, man, this is a lot of fun. Like, I hope this is something we do more of. And it's been something we've been doing for months and months now. And
remember that first night that you and Sam had to share a microphone?
Yeah.
Very Lennon McCartney.
The first podcast, just for a little fun. I mean, we were sharing the mic back and forth. We didn't have the headphones, and but it's been a lot of fun. And
we didn't have the wool socks. Over
exactly. Yeah, and this is just something that we all have work schedules and stuff outside of this that we do, and something that I really look forward to every Sunday when we get together and do all this stuff. It's just a lot of fun, and I am really glad you guys brought me along because it's a lot of fun.
Speaking of the podcast, sorry to jump on this before Sam can contribute, and I apologize if this was something that you were going to bring up, but I would like to get a little sappy and give out a general thank you to all the people that listen to this, because like Sam happened to be checking the numbers earlier today and noticed that we are doing astronomical. Like we just got a huge bump. Like I had tweeted on our Twitter account like a week ago that we got a big bump and we were close to getting to 1,000. We just got another big bump and we basically are at 1,000 now. Like all-time downloads, and like that's huge to me. I assume that's huge to you guys as well, but like that's huge to me because
big time, absolutely.
I've always been thankful for guys.
I have a pretty decent self-esteem myself, but like I don't have a good concept of like when we first started talking about this, I was like, oh yeah, that'd be lots of fun. No one's gonna listen to it, but sure, let's do it. And then like seeing all these people that listen to it, the random people in Qatar, the one person we got in Italy, the people all over the country here in America, it's just wild that that people are listening to it. I know Ilya and Nicole are listening to it. Our friend Josh,
and we want to hear more from you guys too. Kind of
all shouts out people that follow us on Twitter. People. The handful of people that have tweeted at us on Twitter, my friend Steve, who just tweeted at me because I tweeted out that we were talking about the Aerosmith game, and he responded with that was the only game that ever made him upset that he beat it.
That's interesting.
Well, he was one of the guys that I knew in New York, and he had this story. The only reason why I remember that there was an Aerosmith game was that he had this story about being so pissed off playing that game. Like the first time he ever played it, like all the way through, and like he realized it didn't give you the proper instructions. So like you were supposed to. It didn't actually. I'm gonna fuck it up, and I apologize, Steve, if you actually listened to the show. But he was like, I didn't know that you actually had to save Aerosmith in the game. Like no one, like it didn't tell you that you were supposed to do that. So I was like in a room where they were, and they all died, and I lost the game, and it just or something ridiculous.
If you guys are looking for it online, by the way, like if you're curious, like what the fuck is this Aerosmith game we keep talking about this episode? The name of the game is Revolution X.
Right, yeah, it's not actually like Aerosmith's.
Yeah, Aerosmith's Dream On. No, it's
that reminds me of the Rock and Roller Coaster in Disney World, where like you're in the line and you look at them in the studio, like they're recording studio, like, hey, what's up, man? Like you're gonna catch them at the show, and like the music's playing and blasting in your ear while you're riding through, and I've always enjoyed that roller coaster.
I've never been to Disney.
Kiss
Disney
needs a roller coaster.
Hollywood Studios.
Gene was working on a Kiss
like a whole theme park. Yeah. If they didn't call it like the Psycho Circus,
I mean, you could now. I mean, that was something they were working on way back in the day, and
that's
they all
true,
passed on it except Gene. And Gene's like, I still have the rights.
Or the Phantom of the Park. Something like that.
No.
By the way, Jake, that's what we're watching tonight.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Actually, I do have that on my computer. I could totally make us watch it.
Yeah. Legally.
I'm pretty sure it's the uncut version too.
Hopefully Gene Simmons didn't hear that.
I didn't.
So Sam, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for a lot of things. I don't know. This has been been a hot and cold year for me. In retrospect.
So, your year was hot and then it was cold. Was it yes and then it was no? Was it in and then it was out? Whatever the next line is of that song.
Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Yeah, it's been.
You can go back to being serious.
Yeah, it's been like an up and down. It's there have been moments of triumph and moments of like, and I'm, I've something I've been kind of thinking about. I've got friends that I've been friends with for a very long time, and a lot of people don't have that, and I'm really glad that I do. For all the friends that and some of like some guys I've known since like kindergarten that listen to this show, which is fucking wild. That means I've known those guys for like over 2 decades now. I've been friends with these guys for over 2 decades. And, my buddy John, who we mentioned, I've been friends with him since I was like 11 years old. And it's great. It's the only thing I can think to compare that to is that must be like what really long-term relationships, like the longest relationships have been in like 2.5 years. But, just that we had, those friends that you don't grow apart from, because conventional wisdom says that you grow apart from a lot of your friends. That's just a common thing. It sucks when it happens, but it's like you just more experiences and more anecdotes and that sort of thing, and just kind of like gets woven into it like a tapestry. You're painted on over top of it, like like a portrait if you prefer portraiture over weaving. But that's what I'm really thankful for. The fact that I've got so many tight friends, and we're coming into the time of the year where a lot of them are coming back in town for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or whatever, and this is like the time of the year where I get to see them all again. So that's what I'm really thankful for. So to you guys that listen to this, and even to you guys that don't, if you ever hear this, thank you for putting up with my antics for, in some cases, again, over like 2 decades. Like it's. Yeah, because I'm a weird motherfucker.
True.
Yeah, I think I remember one of my buddies was like, "Hey, look, there's Sam, kind of weird, but really cool." Like that, and that's like what I want, like on my like that's what I want my epitaph to be. Kind of weird, but really cool. So yeah, thank you for like, doing all the crazy things, going like to like Paris to get some crepes, or going to like,
Never been to Disney, but you've been to Paris.
No, I haven't been to Disney Hollywood Studios.
But you've been to Paris.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. I'm sure I want to go to Disney Hollywood Studios too. One of these days. I've always talked about, and this has kind of always been a life ambition of mine, and maybe for our New Year's episode I'll bring this up again. I always, as like a resolution, I want to drink around Epcot.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I want to drink.
We can go see Captain EO.
Yeah, it's bright. It's back. I'm thankful for Captain. I'm sure you are.
Oh my God, I so am. I was there. I don't think any of our listeners know. I was there. I was down at Disney World, the whole city of Disney World, this summer with our friend Kevin, because he's in the Star Wars 501st Legion, and they were doing stuff for Star Wars down there, and he needed a handler, and I had no job, so I went down there with him, and I spent one of the days in Epcot and watched Captain EO multiple times, because that was the pinnacle of Disney World for me when I was a little kid, when we went when I was like 10, because that was like right in the middle of like, Michael Jackson's the greatest musician ever made. But yeah, and it's got I feel terrible because I can't remember her name right now, but the lady who is the mom in the Addams Family movies.
Angelica Houston?
Yes, she plays the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and it's in 3D, actually 4D technically, because they have like rumble seats and laser lights and stuff like that going on. It's really cool.
but yeah, so
I'm thankful for Captain EO,
yeah, even my friends that I haven't been around with since like fucking grade school,
like me.
like Chris and like Jake, really, because I've only the little secret is I've only been hanging out with Chris for about 3 years, and most of it's been off because he's been off to New York.
Yeah, we didn't really become friends until I moved to New York.
Yeah, we hung out every now and again.
I was good friends with your sister.
Yeah,
and through her I hung out with you occasionally.
Yeah,
and then I moved to New York. And you were like, "Oh, hey, I'm coming up to New York. You want to hang out while I'm there?" And then you ended up crashing on my couch.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, I need a place to stay the last night, and you're up in New York. We have a lot of similar interests. Hey,
let's do it."
Yeah, and like with Jake, I've only known Jake for about the same amount of time.
I've known Jake for longer, but you two have been friends longer.
Yeah, and that was that's something that came about because apparently our mutual friend TJ had constantly been like, "Sam is the Asian Jake." Which is interesting because my sister is like, Jake is the white Sam.
Yeah, I got that all the time. For like a year or two before I met Sam, TJ, who we've both known forever, was like, "Yeah, he's the Asian. It's the Asian you.
Do
it's
I
the
know
Asian
TJ?
you." Maybe.
I don't think so.
I mean, you probably met him. But he was a legend in Centerville. Just a legend in general. And
but only in his spare time.
But that's true. And yeah, and so it's, to give you a little background on that, TJ was like, "Hey, we're going to see Yellow Submarine in the theater, and you're going to meet Asian you." And I was like, "All right." And so I almost destroyed the friendship right there because Sam was taking his sister to see the movie on her birthday as a surprise. So she had no idea she was about to see Yellow Submarine. Like, that's the last fucking movie she probably ever thought she was going to see, because why would Yellow Submarine be in the theater? And so I didn't know this. And so I knew that Sam was a big Beatles fan, because if he's the Asian me, he has to be a Beatles fan. And so I was about to be like, "Yellow Submarine in theaters, how cool is that?" And that would have just ended everything right there, because it would have been awkward, because Sam would be like, "Oh, this is my sister." And she would have been like, "Fucking Yellow Submarine, are you serious?" And
this is my sister, and this was a huge surprise for her.
And so I did for some reason I didn't, because the movie started, and she's like, "Oh my god, fucking Yellow Submarine!" And I was like, "Oh shit, I dodged that bullet." And then yeah, well, we didn't really talk though at the movie. I mean, it was kind of like we saw the movie. All right, see you later. And then we were coming up with this idea for a podcast we did like a while ago,
a
separate one,
an earlier.
Yeah, and Sam really helped me get back in the comic books and helped me want to get back into single issues, because he was going to the comic book shop as a weekly guy and a subscriber, and I hadn't really done that ever, and I was more of just a trade guy, and just helped me really get back into that. And hell, now I'm working at the shop, and doing this, as well. And
yeah, I've been sitting on this particular idea for podcasts since I had pitched all this to something bigger about it was Christmas Eve last year.
Yeah, so about a whole year ago.
Yeah, this has been a long time in the making, and this is what we have to show for it.
Yeah. I'm pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
I mean,
pretty good for self-made men.
Yeah. Hopefully in the new year we'll have some stuff coming. I'm definitely thankful with the stuff that we have. So
yeah. Fun fact, speaking of podcasts of Christmas prior, the aforementioned Steve, who hates the Aerosmith game, was on my old podcast, the Chris and Steve Power Hour, which is no longer available on iTunes. And actually, I don't think it's available anywhere except for on my hard drive. Oh, no, because I got rid of that hard drive.
Oh,
never mind.
Shit.
No.
I have a few episodes of that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I don't.
I was a subscriber. I don't know if I still have them.
Yeah. No, my iPod that they were all on died, and my computer that I was using died, and I gave that to my little sister, and she actually found out that all she had to do was replace the hard drive, so she got it replaced, and now she's using it. I got this new one that we're using instead, which I like better because it's a PC instead of a Mac.
Sure. Yeah. So I think this is
I think overall it's been a good year.
It's been all right.
Yeah.
I think it's for me. I feel like this is a transition setup here.
Yeah.
Set up for stuff down the line.
I will say that by the end of it, if you can quote unquote call this the end of the year, that it ended up on a higher note for me, because like you guys pretty much everyone by now, I'm sure, knows that this year I moved back to Virginia from New York, and that was mostly because I was starting to have a lot of issues, like living in New York. Like I hated my job. I didn't really like my living situation. Like it was like the apartment itself was great. I loved the apartment, but I hated like the area that I was living in, and like
it was a rough area. I visited you.
And I hated.
I helped you move out.
Yeah, I hated how far away I was from like everything, like all my friends, my work, all the fun stuff that I like to do in New York, and also like the claustrophobia was just really starting to get to me, because if you have any form of claustrophobia, New York is a bad place to be, because that's all it is. You know, I have said that I could move back there if I had the right kind of job where I was able to buy like a studio apartment, you know, just me and like just space, you know, like if I preferably in Manhattan somewhere, probably in the Lower East Side.
Yeah. My favorite part of it.
Yeah. Me and Bowie could be best friends.
Yeah.
I think he's in Greenwich Village, but that's same latitude.
I want to say he's in the Bowery.
It's still the same area.
Yeah.
Still Soho.
Yeah. I would love to. I always wanted like Venkman's apartment in Ghostbusters 2.
I know where that is.
Yeah. But that kind of like, you know.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted Frasier's apartment from Frasier.
That's in Seattle,
though.
Yeah.
I'd rather live in Seattle. It's rainy. I like the rain.
I do too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Seattle.
I'm only happy when it rains.
Are you only happy when it's complicated? Yeah.
What's the next? Fuck it. Garbage. Yeah.
Now I want to know. I'm
Yeah.
only happy when it
They have
rains,
that at
I'm only
karaoke, you
happy
know.
when it's complicated. I think she just repeats, I'm only happy when it rains.
Rains. Pour your misery down.
Pour
me.
your misery down on... No, we're going to have to start paying for it soon.
Yeah. That's why I stopped. And started you disapprovingly. Like I always do.
Yeah, I know. I didn't notice. I just saw the same. I saw Sam face.
Same Sam face.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
The Sam Stone Cold face.
Yeah, Stone Cold. That's
Crazy.
They used to fucking always call me Stone Cold.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because when you think me, I'm clearly Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. The
you are a cold stone. God. I'm coming up with these, and then like as soon as I'm saying them, I'm like, "There's no way I'm the first person to come up with these.
No.
Why am I even bothering saying?"
And
them?
even the first person wasn't that clever.
No. In no way am I trying to say that I'm clever coming up with these. And then like as soon as I say them, I'm like, "Oh God, he's heard these like a million times."
Yeah, I've heard Stone Age, Caveman, fucking everything. Anyway, so yeah, thank you guys again. Like Chris was saying, thank you for listening. You know, this has been huge for us. This is just some fuck around thing that we do. Is something that maybe will pay off down the line, maybe not. But either way, we're having a blast doing it.
I mean, I'm wearing pajama pants right now.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for pajama pants.
I never really got into pajama pants.
They are so comfy. And you're clothed. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
it's not being awkward.
I mean, I wear them. Not right now. I have a pair of Giants ones. That
I'm
are
glad that it got
old as
awkward
shit.
with that
Pants.
dead space or dead air right after I said it to not being awkward, and just boom.
Dead. But yeah, so yeah, let us know how we're doing. Again, we appreciate all the downloads. We want to hear more from you guys.
Yeah.
So
Tell us what you love. Tell us what you hate.
Yeah. So go and enjoy your turkeys. If you're vegan, do whatever you guys do.
Tofurkeys.
Yeah, sure, fine.
By the way, I am not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan or anything like that. But I'm trying not shit on your lifestyle. But tofurkeys look disgusting.
my mom had one once at Thanksgiving, and even my mom was like, "Nope."
Okay.
And she's a vegetarian. So.
Yeah.
But to get back to it, yes. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm sure it's lovely if you don't want turkey.
Yeah.
But it just looks that fine, whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
No need to get into that. Go live your life. I'm not trying to shit on your life. You do you.
But happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
from here over at Geek Out, and we'll see you guys next week. And it'll be just in time for some Christmas cheer. I say that with grit teeth, like I'm like.
We could hear the grit teeth.
Yeah, like, fuck this whole. But
I mean,
yeah.
at least we are waiting until after Thanksgiving to start doing Christmas stuff.
Damn right.
and I'll do it again.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Good night, Eric Bana.